Hanoi raises COVID-19 alerts following new infections. Fresh COVID-19 outbreak dents tourism industry. Vietnam Trade Office working to protect rice trademark in Australia. In Hoa Binh, modern son jailed for anti-state propaganda. Hello and welcome to FBNC News, and we have gone through another tough week together as the COVID situation has been developed more seriously in the country. Now 9 cases of COVID-19 associated with the pandemic cluster at the Hanoi-based National Hospital for Tropical Diseases were reported recently. Of the latest infections, 2 are relatives of patients being treated at the hospital, the City Center for Disease Control said. On the day, the Health Department of Northern Thái Bình Province also reported 5 new cases linked with the hospital's pandemic cluster. Thái Bình has decided to impose social distancing across the province from 12 a.m. on May 6 and activate anti-COVID-19 groups. The 2 other cases were recorded in the northern province of Hưng Yên. The localities have quickly conducted contact tracing and rolled out measures to seal off pandemic-hit areas. Located in Hanoi's outlying district of Đông Anh, the hospital was the frontline facility in the COVID-19 fight. On May 4th, a doctor of the hospital was confirmed positive for the coronavirus. Authorities in northern Quảng Ninh and Điện Biên provinces and southern Bình Phước province on May 5th took actions against persons involved in illegal migration. In Điện Biên province, the Apa Chải border guard post handed over 13 Chinese nationals to Chinese authorities. Together with 12 Vietnamese, they were arrested on April 18 and 19 for assisting others to illegally exit from the country. They admitted that they had been seeking ways to help several Chinese illegally come to Laos. Before being returned to Chinese authorities, they had been sent to concentrated quarantine to prevent any possible COVID-19 transmission. In the southern border province of Bình Phước, the healthcare center of Lộc Ninh district said that it received many people with illicit exit and entry transferred from anti-COVID-19 forces on May 4th and 5th. They include 6 Chinese nationals who were trying to cross the border to enter Cambodia, a Cambodian attempting to come to Vietnam, and 7 Vietnamese illegally moving to the country from Cambodia. They are being tested for the coronavirus and also under investigation. Chairman of the Hanoi People's Committee, Chu Ngọc Anh, has ordered drastically implementing COVID-19 prevention and control measures amid the complex and unexpected developments of the pandemic. Since the new outbreak hit Vietnam on April 27th, the capital city has detected 27 cases, including 22 in the National Hospital for Tropical Diseases in the outskirts district of Đông Anh. In a directive issued on May 5th, Anh asked local administrations and all levels to consider the COVID-19 fight an important, urgent and top priority task in the time ahead, stressing vigilance must be maintained. The official urged stepping the communication work with promoting the role of community-based anti-COVID-19 groups to encourage the public to join the pandemic combat. Health declaration and mask wearing are mandatory, and said, adding that large gatherings at public places are banned and the physical distancing of at least 1 meter must be kept, and urged localities to draw up plans in order to ensure safety at medical facilities and make greater efforts in contact tracing, testing and quarantine, and suggested conducting tests at high-risk areas like industrial parks and the areas where many foreign experts are living. The official also ordered tightening the management at concentrated quarantine establishments, particularly hotels, to prevent cross-infections and pandemic spread among the community. Now, there were thousands of Vietnamese tourists had cancelled trips during the last weekend public holiday due to worries about new community infections. According to Thanh Hóa Province Department of Culture, Sports and Tourism, as many as 374,000 tourists visited the province during the 4-day holiday, 22% below what had been expected. Many tours bookings at tourist sites were cancelled due to concerns about the COVID-19. The total revenue from tourism over the weekend was estimated at 635.8 billion Vietnam dong, a decline of 32% against the same period last year.
Hanoi also recorded a sharp decrease in the number of domestic tourists during the holiday. The city's tourism sector has launched efforts to stimulate domestic travel in hopes of a holiday bump. Many tourist accommodations in Hanoi slashed their prices, and before the holiday, some resorts in suburban areas reported they were almost fully booked. However, the resurgence of COVID-19 in the community had a severe impact on the industry. Statistics from Hanoi's Department of Tourism showed between 25 to 30% of pre-booked rooms were cancelled. Many tourist sites were forced to halt programs and festivals, which were set to attract a lot of people. Other destinations nationwide also witnessed a sharp decrease in tourist numbers. In Hải Phòng City, the number of tourists who visited Cát Bà Island and Đồ Sơn Beach fell substantially. Domestic tourists to Đồ Sơn Beach reached only 110,000, and 40% of the customers cancelled their tours, according to the Đồ Sơn District People's Committee. Da Nang, a tourist hotspot in central Vietnam, also saw tourism activities face difficulties due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The number of tourists who visited famous sites in the city, including Linh Ứng Pagoda and Love Bridge in Da Nang, was fell below expectations. In addition to cancelling tours, a number of hotels in the city faced a situation where many people arrived in Da Nang but changed their plans and checked out earlier than expected.
You're watching FBNC News. Now, Vietnam, one of the most vulnerable countries to climate change, wants to take advantage of an impending salination crisis in the Mekong Delta region to supercharge its multi-billion-dollar seafood industry and stay as one of the world's largest exporters of shrimp. Seawater intrusion in the normally fertile deltalands has forced many rice farmers to abandon the grain in favor of small shrimp ponds, a trend the government is confident it can use to grow shrimp exports from $3.78 billion last year to $10 billion by 2025.
Every day, workers get up to tend to the shrimps in this vast farmland or pond in southern Sóc Trăng province of Vietnam, feeding them 3 times a day, measuring the salt and pH level in the water to maintain water condition in shrimp cultivation. The ponds belong to 52-year-old farmer Tạ Thị Thanh Thủy and 5 of her brothers, who once farmed rice on a swath of land cornered by a distributary of the Mekong River and the South China Sea in Vietnam's Rice Bowl. Now, thanks to climate change, Thủy has, like many farmers in the region, swamped grains for prawns and taken advantage of devastating salination to farm shrimp about a decade ago.
Nói chung thì hồi xưa thì làm lúa thì nói chung bà con nghèo lắm, làm lúa tại vì đâu có trúng đâu. Lúa đây nước ngập mặn rồi nước phèn, cánh đồng năng mà. Thành ra không có khá đâu, nghèo lắm á hồi xưa á. Rồi giờ thì nuôi tôm rồi bà con có hộ phát triển, có người có số thì cũng người ta có tiền gửi ngân hàng rồi xây nhà đẹp.
At least 1/3 of the rice farming area along Sóc Trăng province's 72 kilometers coastline has been affected by salination over the past few years. Saline intrusion in 2020 in the Mekong Delta region made 160,000 hectares of rice fields uncultivable and affected 80,000 hectares of fruit farms, according to experts. Vietnam has been ranked among the 5 countries likely to be most affected by climate change, with rising seawater levels and salination, particularly in the Mekong Delta region, according to the World Bank, which estimated that climate change will reduce national income by up to 3.5% by 2050. Dương Văn Ni, a professor of ecological and environmental studies at the university, said the situation in the region has been worsened by the construction of several hydropower dams upstream the Mekong River. Ni said the dams have significantly reduced water flow to the region, reducing the buildup of fertile sediments needed for rice growing and the underground water resource. He added the Ministry of Agriculture is working to formulate a solution for rice farmers to convert to stream cultivation to make better use of land with less risks.
Những cái vùng này mà khi mà đào ra để mà làm cái ao tôm đó, có nghĩa là chúng ta đào mất cái lớp đất mặt, đào mất cái lớp màu mỡ. Do đó sau con tôm thì vùng này chỉ còn là sa mạc, chúng ta không còn gì khác. Đến nỗi cỏ còn không mọc được. Thành thử ra như vậy là đó là một cái sự đánh đổi.
Vietnam's stream export revenue, which exceeded that of rice in 2020, is expected to rise by 5 to 10% annually over the next decade, according to the Vietnam Association of Seafood Exporters and Producers. This will keep Vietnam in the group of largest shrimp exporters, beside India, Ecuador, China, and Indonesia as the country's total shrimp farming area, mostly in the Mekong Delta, is increasing by 3 to 5% a year, including land converted from rice fields. Vietnam's largest seafood exporter, Minh Phú Seafood Corp, has a more ambitious target to make Vietnam the world's largest shrimp exporter by 2045, equipped with more than a dozen free trade agreements signed, becoming an advantage for Vietnam's shrimp exports, according to a statement on the government's website. Tạ Thanh Tùng, 44, has a 7-hectare shrimp farm near Thuys. His sister, Tùng Thủy, and their 4 other siblings have all switched from rice growing to shrimp farming.
Xưa nói là vùng này là cánh đồng nó bị ngập mặn, thì nói chung làm ruộng không có đủ ăn, rồi bà con gia đình rồi đó mới đi làm thêm là tất nhiên là đi bắt chuột, rồi đi đốn củi, rồi đó đốn củi giá rồi đó, rồi mới đổi gạo ăn thôi. Rồi từ ngày mà chuyển qua tôm thì nói cuộc sống nó nâng lên, nó đỡ hơn.
But with the salination becoming more devastating in the Mekong Delta region, the shrimp farmers are not sure how long they can enjoy their lucrative business, as the area has started to face freshwater shortage over the past 2-3 years, and the situation is getting worse.
Đúng, làm lúa sau này là làm không được lúa nữa. Nước, tại vì mỗi lần thì nước nó như cái lúc mà lúa mình lúc chỗ đó thì nước nó còn ngọt, nhưng mà sau này là nước nó càng mặn lên, càng cao thì nó tràn vô, nó xâm nhập mặn hết, lúa đâu còn ăn nữa. Rồi bắt đầu mới chuyển qua nuôi tôm, mà lúc đó nuôi đại trà.
Tạ Thanh Sơn, the youngest member of the family business, went off to study aquaculture in a university, something his father could not have done before, but even Sơn is troubled about his future.
Em cũng rất là lo lắng về cái vấn đề này. Thì khoảng những tháng gần Tết đó, tháng 10 đó là nước có thể là ngập tràn bờ đê ở đây luôn. Em là có lẽ là khoảng thêm vài chục năm đó thì chắc có lẽ là ngập hết cái đồng bằng sông Cửu Long này. Hôm nay thì em cũng chưa biết vì sao nữa. Có lẽ là chỗ ở hoặc là chỗ sinh hoạt đồ nó cũng không còn.
The Vietnam Trade Office in Australia has said it has taken measures to protect Vietnamese rice trademarks after an Australian firm registered for trademark protection of rice varieties ST24 and ST25.
Nguyễn Phú Hòa, head of Vietnam Trade Office in Australia, said TNL Global Food Supply has sought to register the best rice of the world trademarks for the 2 varieties. Both rice varieties ST24 and ST25 were developed in Vietnam by farmer scientist Hồ Quang Cua and his colleagues and have won international prizes. The office has spoken with Cua about coordinating action and being actively engaged in discussions with leaders of TNL Global Food Supply, which said it would check the matter with its brand unit. The agency has also sent documents and photos to IP Australia to clarify that the ST24 and ST25 rice varieties were developed by Cua and a team of Vietnamese scientists and have been granted patents in Vietnam. It has asked IP Australia to consider the matter and to avoid possible disputes that could affect ST24 and ST25 rice exports from Vietnam to Australia. Vietnam is also meeting with lawyers in Australia to prepare the necessary steps in line with IP Australia's regulations. He suggested Gore stepped up completing procedures to join in addressing the case and protecting the trademark. Đỗ Gia Thắng, director of Window Lawyers in Australia, said it takes 3 to 4 months to carry out checks on a patent registration. This is not the first time ST24 and ST25 rice have lost their trademark protection rights in foreign countries, as there were certain applications made to register ST25 in the US previously. Vietnam exported rice worth $4.7 million to Australia in the first quarter of this year, a year-on-year increase of 66%.
The People's Court of the Northern Province of Hoa Binh on May 5th sentenced a woman and her son to 8 years in prison each for making, storing, distributing or disseminating information, documents and items against the state of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Cấn Thị Theo, born in 1962, and her son Trịnh Ba Tư, born in 1989, reside in Ngọc Lương Commune in Thủy District. At the court, Theo and Tư confessed that they had created, published, and distributed video clips and fabricated and distorted contents defaming people's administration. Between January 9 to 14, 2021, they used their Facebook accounts to post 8 video clips against the state of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. They also published video clips inciting people to revolt against authorities, insulting organizations and agencies, and defaming party, state, and the government leaders. The judge decided that the duo will be under home probation for another 3 years after their jail terms end. Honda Vietnam has recently announced that it will recall 27,640 cars due to faulty pumps beginning on May 5th. All made in 2019, the vehicles include 8,626 Honda City produced between January 2nd and September 16, 3,630 Honda HR-V between January 14 and August 31st, 1,440 Honda Civic manufactured between February 20th and September 28, 10,687 Honda CR-V between January 3rd and July 30th, and 443 Honda Accord produced between July 3rd and October 3rd. The fault in pumps can cause engines to stall or fail to start, Honda Vietnam said. No related accidents have been recorded so far, but the manufacturer recommended its customers get their pumps replaced for standard ones to ensure their interests and safety. The replacement will be done free of charge. That has come to an end of FBNC News this week. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye.